Garbage Time Sports. Nobody said it. All right. It's in the game. How you like that? Anyway. Yeah, we're getting sued, canceled, or both. Who knows? BT's here.
That would just mean somebody's listening to us.
That's right. That's right. If I get sued, I'll be like, so you're saying I got listeners?
Yeah.
Bet.
Come at us.
Okay, so Garbage Time Sports is the name of this here sports talk show thing. And that's what we're going to do. So let's start with football. It starts in like 45 days. And yeah, so we'll move on.
That's truth. Right now, we're in the dog days of summer. Really, the only thing that's going on is baseball. I mean, you and I are basketball marks, so we're obviously trying to find something.
Right.
But for the most part, this is the dog days of summer.
Yeah, this is baseball season. This is it. I mean, there's nothing else going on, boys.
People just praying for rain. That's all I know.
Hey, I'm okay, but I'm there right now. I'm like, dear Heavenly Father, if you should so see fit that I don't die of a heat stroke today, that'd be swell. Thank you so much.
You've been doing your Native American rain dance and your tidy whities?
I have, and then you know what? I got a cease and desist. Cultural appropriation.
Cops came down there and
they were like, "Sir,
put your pants on."
Now they didn't come out and say the words cultural appropriation. They said you need to get dressed.
Is implied.
But it was heavily implied. You know what I mean? Because we're like, easy there, white guy. So, it's because I was white.
It's because it wasn't working. That's why. If it had been raining, they bet they'd had a different story.
Yeah, they'd have been like, oh, just
let him finish.
Let him go. He's fine. Okay, so let's talk about baseball, though. And let's talk about a few things. We love the Yankees, and we are big fans of all rise for the judge, okay? Number 99.
MVP.
Yeah, that's right.
It's MVP season, I swear to it.
Absolutely. So tell me the numbers that he has turned down from our beloved clubhouse.
$213.5 million.
$213.5 million over what time span?
It does not give me
because
that.
It could be over 100 years and no one would turn it down. Because it's enough money to live out the rest of your life on, and your kids' life, and probably theirs as well, as long as you didn't get too crazy. And you get to stay a New York Yankee. Like, why would you leave?
Okay. So, he turned it down.
Because it wasn't enough money, right?
Would have come to... Where's the dollars? You can keep going.
Well, I don't know. I want this information so I can continue my rant.
Okay. All right, it looks like it's just salary arbitrations where it was. They're not giving me an exact number, but they ended up settling in a midpoint at $19 million is what he's making this year.
Okay, so let's just... $19 million this season.
He turned down to stay with the Yankees and sign that $213.5 million contract to instead sign for $19 million for this one season so he can test free agency.
Okay, so thank you, because that's gonna fuel this fire. Okay, so once again, I'm a Yankees fan. Once again, I am an Aaron Judge fan.
Let's not forget that Aaron Judge missed 142 games throughout 2018.
Bingo. Let's not forget that Aaron Judge is the slugger. Okay, he's knocking home runs left and right all the way up until it gets up to the time of year where it really counts.
And then he pulls an A-Rod?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, so hear me out. Once again, I'm a fan of both the franchise and the player. He is crazy. He is absolutely crazy. So, okay, let's just play this out.
Okay. Looks like he's going into free agency, and he wants to listen to everybody's negotiations.
But we all know that that's not true. Why would that be true?
He's trying to drum up what the Yankees ultimately
exactly,
have to
because
pay.
he already knows that front office in the Bronx has plenty of money. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll speculate. How pissed would you be he ends up in a Red Sox jersey next season?
Oh, hey, bro, if he's you
named
dude,
your
I can't
dog
even,
Judge.
Bro, yeah. I'm telling you, dude, like if he does that,
Dogs get a new name?
I will be done. I will be so done.
The dog's now Mike Judge, named after Beavis and Butthead creator Mike Judge.
Yeah, actually I'll change the middle name to Judy. There we go.
Nice.
Or
Noise.
Judge Steve Harvey. That's a new one.
Judge Steve Wilcox.
Yeah. Anyway.
Judge Mills Lane.
Yeah. Okay, so He's making 20 million or 19 million this
19
season.
million this season to
So-
test free agency. He refused to sign that long-term contract. He did not
Oh, my
want to be
God.
locked into that long-term contract.
I would hate to be locked into a long-term contract where they pay me millions of dollars a year to play baseball at my favorite place ever.
Not to mention while you're in the prime of your career,
Yeah.
you're still on the tail end of that prime. You're going into the latter years, not
Yeah,
going
yeah.
into your prime.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Judge, like in all reality, 5 more seasons.
Baseball players can play a long time, but as far as him being at this all-star
Being
level,
Aaron Judge.
yeah, before he's the a guy that's hanging on there,
Yeah.
long in the tooth.
Well, okay, before and look, this is no disrespect, please, because I know how people around here can get about this fella, but Aaron Judge is starting to make his way towards Albert Pujols.
Albert Hubelhoff?
Yeah, Pujols is one of the greats, man.
He is. He came home this year.
He did, and he came home for that one season for that one reason, so he could retire a Cardinal.
It's a good reason, but yeah.
Yeah, respect. But Albert Pujols has treated this season.
As a farewell to him.
As a
Because he saw
farewell.
what Jeet got.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, all I got to do is do it the way the captain did it, and I'll be good.
It's also St. Louis, and honestly, he could have gone anywhere and come back. And,
Oh, yeah.
and St. Louis would have loved him.
I would
'cause
say that city has always loved.
they stood
Albert
behind
Pujols.
Mark McGuire when nobody else would.
Yeah, and Mark probably didn't deserve it, but I would say I was a
I don't
McGuire
know.
fan. though.
McGuire seems like, other than the fact that he tried to run from admitting it, probably
Yeah.
for legal reasons,
Sure.
he always seemed like a nice guy.
Oh yeah, man. He was great with fans, everything. I mean, you got to remember, Mark McGuire was popular. He the king of swing. Whenever I was like, I don't know, 10, 11.
Yeah,
I
that
was-
1998 home run derby. Yeah, pretty much. But home run
Yeah.
race was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was like
he
a
ended up
home
with
run derby.
65, 70, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. He
I
set
know
the-
it was
he
between
broke-
him and Sammy Sosa, and he ended up winning.
He ended up with 65. I think Sosa ended like 62, 61.
Yeah.
He passed Maris, but I mean,
Yeah, and then
And then-
two
and-
seasons later, Barry Bonds just shatters
yeah.
everything.
Then Barry came in and he dropped like 70, and then the following year dropped 73.
and then the following year hit 126.
Well,
and
I think
we're like,
actually the following year, I think, is when the Balco investigation
Yeah,
began, and
it
that's
was.
when his career took the sudden decline.
yeah. Well, it had to. So speaking of.
Ridiculous contracts being rejected.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. You go ahead because I'd like to hear this.
Okay, so you and I were first starting off with, last night was the home run derby, right?
Yes, yes.
And Juan Soto put on a show.
And I'm telling you, because I watched it, and Juan Soto had a couple rounds where he really did get lucky. He really did. He got lucky that he didn't get eliminated.
But
Once he started getting warm, oh man, I'm talking. He started cranking them out.
I think the home run derby proved why it's the most enjoyable of all-star game competition that you
Yeah.
can watch.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
fun.
The football game is unwatchable.
Yeah,
The
it's
basketball game can pretty much be unwatchable. The dunk contest has become unwatchable.
Yeah, it's
So I think what we have left is this home run derby, which is, let's call it what it is. It's glorified batting practice.
Yeah,
But
that's
damn
all.
it is if it isn't fun to
yeah,
watch.
it is, man. You're sitting there going, "Come on, he's got to hit 2 of them at over 440. He's got to be out." You know what I mean? It's a good time.
Well, we watched that show. We thought it was great. We thought everything was great. But did you know that Juan Soto, the winner of that contest, had to pay for his own flight to the All-Star game, and he flew commercial and barely arrived at the stadium on time?
That's crazy.
That is freaking crazy that his employer, his team, the team he plays for,
right. The Washington Nationals.
would not pay for his flight, much less first class him, but they wouldn't pay for his flight.
So he flew. He paid it his own way. He flew commercial.
Yes.
Got there, won the home run derby.
Less than 24 hours before the flight, he was chartering his own airplane. Like, he had to fly that commercial flight. If he had to hunt it down, track it, all that himself, the team would not help.
That's so crazy.
And it's
Like,
out of spite because he rejected a record 15-year, $440 million contract. He said, no thanks.
Okay. So a couple things where I'm gonna probably I don't know. double standard. Because like with Juan Soto, I'm like, hey, yeah, I wouldn't want to get locked into playing for the Nationals for 15 years. That sucks. But then I hear 440 million.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I could play for a crap team for 440 million.
Well, apparently the riff and where it is he has his agent is Scott Boras. Anybody that knows the name of baseball agents knows Scott Boras because he was famously the agent of Alex Rodriguez when he signed his
Big money.
$252 million contract or whatever that was that he got way back 20 years ago.
And that was 200 and something
it was
over
like
5 years.
It's it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was crazy money.
But he's that same agent, so notoriously going to highball these people. But because of this riff, this franchise, this billion-dollar franchise, refused to fly him out of pettiness. And again, like we said,
and he won.
He is a member of this team. He's on the roster. I don't know. I don't get that pettiness. How would you feel if DeMar DeRozan, was having a contract beef with the Bulls and they wouldn't bring him out to the All-Star game? He had to charter his own bus.
It's I don't know. I can't
crazy, right?
I can't fathom that happening.
It's crazy, right? It looks really bad on the Washington Nationals, in my opinion.
I say, and that is not hard to do to make the Washington Nationals look bad, but it makes the front office look even worse. I mean, it looks bad enough whenever you have a crap team, but whenever you do have a star,
I just can't.
And then you make him walk to practice. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, he is ridiculous, and you got to remember that last night was an incredible night for this kid. He beat 21-year-old Seattle Mariner phenom Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, man.
And like you said,
Julio cranked out 32 in one round.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh. Like, my wife was like, is that how many they always hit? I was like, no, that was a freak ordeal. Like, Julio Rodriguez should have won that, to be honest with you. But, it all comes down to...
Yeah, the final round, winning it under the pressure.
Yeah, final round. Juan Soto pulls it out.
But what I just do not fathom or get about this is that this franchise is so petty that because they were scorned by this player who doesn't want to play for him long term, obviously.
Sure.
That they wouldn't pay for his flight.
Yeah.
What's a few $1,000s to billions?
Yeah. Well, okay. So it comes down to this. What about the rest of the season? Are they going to fly the team wherever they want to go, but not Juan Soto? You're going to have to fly commercial? Like, how spiteful, how petty are you going to get? Like, don't get me wrong. We always tend to lean into that pettiness. But
I'll tell you this, that if I was Juan Soto, I would be holding out right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'd be like, you know what? I just won the home run derby. That's going to raise my stock a little bit. I'm going to see what's up.
It's ridiculous, though. But, I mean, I get it. I wouldn't want to be signed up long-term. At 22 or 23 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to lock me down for 15 years in D.C.? I'm good. Thanks.
No. I mean, I appreciate y'all drafting me and, wherever I came from.
Sure.
But I'm in the league now.
Yeah.
I am obviously worth more than I'm being currently paid.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is I think Juan Soto will probably end up somewhere like New York, or will end up somewhere like Boston or the Mets or Atlanta, one of these bigger market franchises. But
Dodgers. He'll end up at the Dodgers.
Dodgers?
Yeah.
LA Doyers?
Doyers. Yeah, the Doyers. The reason I say that is because he won the home run derby in Los Angeles last night, so they'll be like, we need to get him.
True.
That seems to be the way
or
the Dodgers
Angels.
work.
Or the Angels. They throw big money around, too, for these guys.
Yeah.
But...
Hey, speaking of the Angels, dude, I know we talked about it a little bit last season, but I haven't mentioned him this season. I just want to make sure everyone understands that I am not a fan of baseball teams from the West Coast, okay? I'm more of an East Coast baseball guy. But Shohei Ohtani is something special and should be watched every chance you get. That dude is incredible. So that's just kind of a little, the more you know. Anyway, so I don't know. I'm still kind of stuck on the fact that it's like, no, we're mad at you, so you have to get your own way to the home run derby.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
You know how often players have rejected contracts and then just had to go back? That's the worst negotiating ploy ever. I understand you're pissed. You offer this guy the biggest contract in sports history. I get it.
Yeah.
But
but you're trying to lock him down for the rest of his life. Like to me, like I can. And once again,
is
it's
half
due to-
$500 million
Yeah.
enough to get you to sell your soul?
no,
Are we talking to Hootie Who? We talking to Juan Soto?
Yeah, it's like, who are we talking to here? Now, man, I don't know. Like for me, this is where the double standard comes in, because like with Aaron Judge, I'm like, dude, where else would you want to go? You're in New York. You play at Yankee Stadium. What else do you want? Now, once again, that's because of my bias towards the team, right? Where the Nationals and Juan Soto walking away from the biggest deal ever, and I'm like, no, I get it. I would too. Forget that.
It makes sense. I'm on the fence because I feel the same way that make your money. I understand going into free agency. I was irritated that Zach Levine did what he did, but I understand ultimately why he did it, and I knew that ultimately he wanted to come back to Chicago like he always said that he did.
Right.
In this case, I don't think Judge is happy with New York at the moment, or he's just wanting more money. One of the two.
And that's the whole thing.
And
is I
Soto,
don't
we
know-
talked about. He's just so young. He doesn't want to be stuck in Washington.
Yeah, I'm about to say, but that's the whole thing. As young as Soto is, and as long of a career as he probably has ahead of him, I think I could walk away from the money. I really do. I think I could be like, I don't
I
need
can
that
gain
much.
this. I can gain this in career earnings.
Yeah, and honestly,
more.
over the course of the next 15 years, I could make more than this if I keep improving. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this. Me personally, while I said I understand the idea of not taking it, I think I would take it. Because that's
a lot of security,
That's a lot
man.
of security. That's
Yeah.
a lot of money. And you know how often baseball players don't live up to those contracts?
Yeah.
I just shared a month ago Bobby Bonilla receiving another payment from the New York Mets for a contract that he got in like 1996.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's
Yeah.
all I'm saying is these contracts, even if you don't pan out, that contract's still going to pay out.
Yeah, I get that. I do, because that's, like I said, that's a lot of
'Cause
security right there.
I also don't have the same faith in Soto that the Nationals have in Soto.
Yeah,
I've seen
think
a lot
that-
of players like him come and go.
Yeah, well, and I think that realistically speaking, like I said, that he could potentially have a long a career ahead of him, and potentially he could. But a lot of times, the young stars they burn out.
They do.
You know, it's just kind of crazy. So let's kind of shift gears a little bit, staying on baseball. Let's talk about the Razorbacks that were drafted over the past couple days. I know. Let's see. Jalen Battles has been drafted. I don't remember where he's going. I remember there were several. Connor Nolan, who's my wife's cousin, he got drafted by Chicago. He's going to play for the Cubs.
Jalen Battles went to the Tampa Bay Rays.
That's right.
5th round.
Yeah, in the 5th round. And then like in the 9th round or something, Robert Moore went to the Brewers, I think.
I can check it.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I don't even care what round it is.
The main point that we were getting to was Connor. Connor got picked up, and
Yeah.
you and I were talking off air. He was picked up by the Cubs.
Yeah.
After the season that he was able to put together,
Sure.
and after the postseason run that he had, that loss was not on him.
No, absolutely
So-
not. Absolutely not.
I get it. Take that contract that the Cubs are offering you and go with it.
Yeah. So here's okay. So he's played 5 years. Okay, but because he was a student athlete during COVID, he actually has a COVID year that he could come back and play. Right. So, do I think Connor will come back and play for Arkansas? No, I think that he will go ahead and go professional. Probably have to go play the minors for a little bit.
Yeah, that seems
that's to
fair.
be expected.
Especially out of college.
Yeah, and Connor is a really good ball player, really good pitcher, but I think he'll have to spend some time, in I don't know, probably start out in some high A ball or something before he goes double, triple A. But we'll just have to see how that goes, and who knows, he might end up just being an ace for the Cubs. Who knows?
I think he will. I think he will pan out because what I saw last year, there were intangibles that you can't teach. That's just talent.
the kid has Connor has to coin the baseball phrase. He's got the stuff. He's got good stuff. He's a dude. He's I think he's going to be just fine. I will say this: like his salary slot was like $146,000. So the only thing that speculation that I've heard is that if he does come back, he does stand to make more money off of like NIL deals and all that kind of stuff.
True.
But, you know, I mean, honestly, for me, like if it were me, I'd be like, I could go back to college, make more money for 1 year, and potentially raise my stock for the league.
True.
But what if I throw out my shoulder?
Yes. Or what if I don't have as great of a season?
Yeah.
What if myself don't play quite as well as
Yeah.
I did, even though I know I'm capable of it, and everybody's capable of a good or bad season.
Sure.
But what if he has that bad season and then his draft stock drops because there's new crop of young talent.
Yeah.
And not to mention the talent that don't play college baseball. The kids that play down in the Dominican.
Yeah.
Or the kids from Japan or all of these other places
Sure.
where people are now playing baseball.
Yeah.
Globally.
Yeah.
So I agree. I would take the money. I think $263 and $164,000 a year is a pretty good contract to start because that young man has more the capability to earn.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the coolest thing is just the simplest way of saying it. Connor Noland's got good stuff. And I think that he's going to be able to show that off on a national.
I hope to see him pop up on the Chicago Cubs game. See him playing just in the Cubs uniform here soon.
I mean, I hate the idea of him in a Cubs uniform.
That's the team he's playing for, brother.
Yeah, that sucks to suck. But anyway, but no, man, good for him. Good for all the guys who got drafted. I'm happy to see Robert Moore going somewhere that is not Kansas City. Because if you didn't know, during the whole College World Series, Dayton Moore, father of Robert Moore, is the CEO of the Kansas City Royals. And they would make sure to say that at least 7 times per game, every time the camera hit Robert Moore. And there's Robert Moore, son of Dayton Moore. I was like, who cares? I'm here to watch him play.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Baseball.
Yeah.
That's Big Hit Bobby. I want to watch him. So let's just slide off of baseball because like I said, it's baseball, and let's get into what's really important in life, and that is basketball.
Let me start with some breaking news. I know we've been following the story on our Facebook page, and you and I have talked about it, but I don't know if we addressed it on the air. But NBA star Miles Bridges has officially been charged with felony domestic violence and child abuse for allegedly beating the mother of his kids in front of their children. And what was incredible about the story is, he's 24 years old. He's coming off a great season with the Charlotte Hornets, and he was going into free agency. And he was one of the names that was being shopped around that a lot of people were looking at having Miles join their team. Well, now... absolutely not with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
But I guess my question to you is, do you think that somebody's still going to take a shot at him after he gets through whatever legal battles he has to battle here?
I hope not. And look, I've always been on both shows, right? Like I hate the cancel culture thing. If there's ever someone who deserves to be canceled, it's a guy who beats up a woman,
especially in front of his own kids.
Yeah, you deserve to be canceled, bro. In fact, I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and no one else but you. How about that? And that's all I'm going to give that cat. So screw him. I
agree.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I
just got no tolerance for that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're a big shot. I mean, come slap me, bro.
Right.
For real, come slap me. Let's talk about it.
I don't even understand the stupidity that it would take to do such a thing, not to mention just, to the extent that these allegations go that he's being charged with.
Bro, if he's being charged felony
domestic abuse.
Then
domestic violence and child abuse.
But here's the deal is because of my time in law enforcement, domestic violence, domestic battery, your first offense, that's a misdemeanor. Now, it is a class. I don't even know what class anymore. But anyway, your first offense is a misdemeanor. Okay? Your second offense is a misdemeanor. Yeah. Now, you got to serve a little jail time with it. But, for a felony, I mean, it's either happened multiple times.
Yeah.
Or he... inflicted enough damage.
And 1 felony count of injuring a child's parent and 2 felony counts of child abuse under circumstances or conditions likely to cause great bodily injury or death.
Basically meaning he threw a fit in front of the kids and it could have You know what I'm saying? Like if he's throwing stuff around, something could have hit a kid, you'll get charged with that. Even if the kid didn't get hit, you will get charged.
So, Michelle Johnson, the alleged victim, claimed she was injured from the attack, saying she was diagnosed with multiple injuries, including brain concussion, closed fracture of nasal bone, contusion of rib, multiple bruises, strain of the neck muscle. She included pictures with her alleged allegation and also documents from the hospital and her police report. So,
Those injuries line up perfectly.
Yeah,
He whooped her because she made him mad. You
Yeah,
know,
and
and look, man, I'm not even saying that she didn't do something heinous to take him there, but you know, at some point you got to stand up, you got to be a man and say I can't do that. You know,
Yeah.
a little bit of self-control goes a long way, guys.
all right, moving on.
Yeah, move past that. So let's talk about Dame. Let's talk about Dame Lillard for a minute and how upset he must be because you know the Trailblazers won a ring.
They did. They're the Summer League champions.
Yeah, and Dame didn't play in no summer league.
He did not. So, once again, the
Dame didn't-
Trailblazers'
no
success
ring.
without Dame.
Yeah, no ring for Dame.
He can't catch a damn break.
I'm telling you, man. Man, and I'm a Dame Lillard fan. Like I know Kobe. You remember C.
Yeah.
Wayne? He couldn't stand that dude. But like I'm a Dame Lillard.
He's
fan,
clutch.
so.
That's what I like about
Yeah.
it. He's clutch and he's loyal to his team.
Yeah, he has to be. He's been there for a while,
And he's signed another contract to stay even longer.
yeah, good for him, man. But I think Damian Lillard's like, I like it here.
I think he
This
likes,
is okay.
I think he likes living in Portland too because
Yeah.
it's low key.
Yeah, but say I like it. It's good stuff.
But I've watched. I don't know about you. I've watched more Summer League this year than I think I've watched in my entire life.
Bro, I've never watched Summer League up until this year. I swear to God, I've never watched Summer League. I didn't even know it was a real thing like this. And now I'm like, what? It's like a tournament?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And I was like, I got to watch Summer League every year. This is great.
Yeah, it's fun because it's like the best talent of the,
of your G
of the
League
young,
guys,
yeah, the young
your
talent in the league.
draftees, essentially. Yeah.
and even some of the better players that got drafted that they want to see how well they mesh with the new team.
Yeah.
like Dalen Terry.
Yeah, like Dalen Terry. You remember way back, like a long time ago, when I was like, "Who's Dalen Terry? Why would we draft?"
Who the hell is Dalen?
I believe those were
Terry?
my actual words. Yeah.
You've
so-
since recanted it, so it's fine.
Yeah, but now I know exactly who Dalen Terry is, and it's a good get for Chicago.
I agree.
It's a
He's-
good get, man. That cat, he can ball, man.
right through the first 4 games. He was just killing it.
Yeah.
man. He did get injured in that last game and did sit out some.
Yeah, well, I'm just waiting for him to be like, oh, well, we think it might be his Achilles or his ACL. We don't know. We're going to have him consult with Lonzo. And I'm like, what? No, don't let him talk to Lonzo.
Lonzo and Zach are all going to meet together. And see the
Yeah,
same
like, listen,
specialist.
Lonzo's telling him, he's like, listen, I think it's best that you don't play for the next, season, the whole season. Just don't play.
So I'm reading the scouting report here that's available on NBCSports.com, and I do agree with this about Dalen Terry. He showed that he can do 4 things immediately that should translate to a level of competition. He competes, he works for a base of defensive mindset,
Yeah.
and he's able to impact games without scoring.
Yeah.
He sees the floor well,
Yeah.
and perhaps most impressively, he's a finisher who can get to the free throw line.
Yeah, I agree with all that, but the defensive on the defensive end of the floor, Dalen Terry knows how to turn it up, and that's fun to watch. That's like some Caruso stuff. That's like some Dosumu stuff. You know what I mean? I like seeing guys that'll get out on defense and not just have all their intensity when the ball is in our favor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, otherwise they're just loafing around, kind of haphazardly guarding their man.
And I mean, I'm not going to name names, but like Zach LaVine, you know what I'm saying? Like the guy we just paid all that money to, Zach don't play defense. DeMar don't play no defense.
No, they're not two-way players.
and
I
let me
hate
tell
that about 'em.
and let me tell you, Vooch don't play no defense.
The first time that he first time he tries to play defense, it's the first time he's ever tried to play defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Vooch,
usually
but-
he just stands and he tries
Yeah.
to be big,
yeah, that's it. Just like maybe I can disrupt things from standing here,
which is really disappointing because I feel like there's more potential there. But if it sacrifices the offensive end, we'll take it. 'Cause
yeah.
those we don't count it often, but those 18 to 20 points that he puts in there
Yeah.
do make up a difference.
Well, because you never notice Vooch putting points on the board until the end of the game. You see the box score, and you're like, oh, Vooch had 38 points. That's crazy. I didn't know that. You know what I mean?
It's crazy because you're all focused on Zach and DeMar.
Yeah. And, of course, the Baldwin himself.
Yeah.
because
And
that dude will literally be everywhere on the floor.
And remind me, put a pin in DeMar because I do want to bring up the Drew League because we got to
Okay.
see our boy DeMar play.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
while we're on the subject of these guys, what did you think about Marco? Now, I've never been a Marco guy. I think he's too skinny or something. There's something about he gets pushed around. Now,
Sure.
he's bulked up. He's added about 25 more pounds of muscle. He did look noticeably bigger.
Yeah.
But I still think guys like Giannis and Joel Embiid are going to eat him for lunch.
Yeah, they're going to push him around.
Al
He's still
Horford
going to
push
get
him around.
Yeah, and if Al Horford pushes you around, you're a little bit soft. Okay,
Al Horford was bullying some people in the playoffs, though.
Al Horford's a heck of a ball player, man. I just, you know me, man. I find my guys that I have to hate on: Ben Simmons, Al Horford. That's about it.
Yeah, it looks like right here their critique is the same as ours. That often he comes up small in mismatches against larger players.
Yeah.
And he went 1.0 for 5 on a free throw. And that was in a game where we expected more out of him physically to show to us.
Yeah.
Now, he's dominated the G League last year.
Yeah.
He's dominating the G League this year.
Yeah. Do you think that before he can come up and play with the big boys, though, do you think he needs more weight on him, or do you think this is something that he can adjust and adapt and spend some time, actually in the league and not be pushed back down?
I think he's going to end up being a solid player,
Yeah.
not for Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't think that they need to invest more time than they already are.
I
will
agree.
give him another chance this season to ride the pine.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing it. We have such better guys that we've put on the team now. I don't know if Tony Bradley's necessarily one of those, but we did go out and get Drummond. So
Yeah, man.
There's that.
I'm excited to see that. I'm telling you, they need to run a 3-guard with 2 big men, Vooch and Drummond down. Oh my gosh. I think that.
Now, did you see the story about Dragic telling somebody that the reason that he didn't re-sign with another team was because they weren't going to give him enough playing time? He was looking to 20 to 25 minutes per game.
You're talking about Drummond wants that?
No, Dragic.
Oh.
Goran Dragic, who the Bulls just signed.
Yeah.
So where is he going to get those minutes playing for
He's
the Bulls?
not going to get those minutes playing for the Bulls. You can't give Goran Dragic. You can't give him that 25 minutes a game.
Yes, that's
You're crazy.
That's what he wanted, and that's the reason he didn't re-sign with.
So
who was he playing for last year? I can't remember. Off the top of my head.
I don't know. Here, you have an extra computer. Look that up. I don't know who he's playing for. I don't remember. But how are you going to give Dragic? Basically, he wants to play the first half. He wants to play the whole first half instead of who?
Oh, there it is. It's the Mavericks.
That's
the
what I
Mavericks.
thought, yeah.
The Mavericks were the ones that offered it to him, and he said he didn't want to play a cheerleading role.
What are you going to do in Chicago?
Right.
Like literally, you want 25 minutes. There's
Let's-
no
let's-
one
let-
that I'm willing to take off the floor for 10 minutes
let's
for
do
Goran
it.
Dragic.
Ball,
No,
Levine,
no.
Kobe White, Dosumu,
No.
Caruso.
Absolutely. No.
There's your guards.
Yeah. Like, okay, so the only reason with Kobe White that I'm even like, is because we've had 3 years with Kobe. And even though I'm a Kobe White fan, he's not performing at Chicago. Like, I think that he is going to need to be in a bigger role for him to really reach his potential. I think
I
he needs
agree.
to be on the floor more.
He
And
needs to be a
there's just-
starter somewhere, and there's
it's-
no place for him to be a starter.
It's the same thing with Dragic,
Chicago.
though. Like, well, it's not the same thing with Dragic because Kobe is still coming into his prime. He's still a young player. Where
Yeah.
Goran Dragic,
He's a journeyman.
yeah, exactly. And at best, that's what he's always going to be as a journeyman ball player. And that's not a bad thing to be by any means. But it's just 25 minutes and you go to you sign with Chicago. Did you not look at the guards that are ahead of you?
Yeah, I don't understand that because he didn't think he would get enough time playing there. But he's going to Chicago where they have a backlogged guard
Yeah,
position.
Like,
I don't any of the
in
guard
Dallas.
positions.
Like, what do you have? You don't even have Jalen Brunson anymore. All you have.
I guess
is
he was
Luka.
afraid that with Luca he wasn't going to get to play.
Well, I'm telling you, man. Like, from what I understand, they're like, we're going to run a power forward center Luka set. Okay, like so who are your other two? No, that's it. We're going to run 3-on-5, and it might actually work out. Luka Doncic is special.
He is.
But anyway, getting back on Dragic, I don't know, man. I just don't see where the Bulls are a good fit for him. I mean, I guess okay, let's look at it like this. How could it work for us, though? Because, I mean, come on, you're not ever going to have more than 2 guards down at a time. Oh, it's Chicago. Of course you could.
4 guard sets.
Yeah, well, and you might have 2 guards or 3 guards injured at the same time. You know, whenever you have Alex Caruso, Lonzo Ball, and Zach LaVine all out at the same time.
Kobe White was injured last year.
Yeah, you know, so there, maybe there's you know what? I take it all back.
Dosunmu was the only one that hung in there.
That's another one who's special.
I know.
That
he's got that. He's got that it quality.
Yeah, he does, man. And I hope he stays in Chicago. But I think that money's going to get him.
I
don't think that Chicago will give it to him. Not like in any kind of bad way. I just think that they'll be like, eh.
I like the fact that it looks to me like there's going to be more of an offensive threat out of Dalen Terry than we'd anticipated. And I think more floor time with DeMar. You may be seeing a young DeMar DeRozan type player there with some defense, which would be wonderful.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of it. Speaking of DeMar, let's get to it.
Yeah.
I saw that he played on the same team as LeBron James, and it was pretty exciting stuff. He even got in a fight.
Yeah.
DeMar got in a fight.
Yeah, at the Grandpa League, bro.
It's crazy. He got in a fight with some guy who was trying to test him. It got a little contentious for a minute, but
yeah, man. DeMar DeRozan showing everyone he still got a little bit of
brought Debo out.
Yeah, man. You got to do what you got to do, man. Oh man, what bike?
But did you see that LBJ also popped in and made an appearance and ended up dropping 42 points against a bunch of rec
Lyndon
league?
B. Johnson showed up and dropped 42 points at the Peepaw League. It's like Summer League, but for Peepaws. You know, like
AARP
LeBron.
card members.
Yeah, like DeMar and LeBron are on the same team, so Peepaw League. Anyway.
I did notice that LeBron, his jersey, while the Drew League is sponsored by Adidas, he's not sponsored by Adidas, so he had covered up the Adidas logo.
Yeah.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
But it's his league, man. Why?
That's kind of my thing. Is isn't the Drew League? That's a LeBron thing.
It is a LeBron thing.
So why is it sponsored by someone you're not sponsored by? You jerk.
Bunny, the almighty dollar.
Yeah.
He's not a billionaire for.
That's
no
right,
reason.
man. He's smarter than I am. Got to be. He's got billions with a B. Like he might buy Twitter, from what I heard. Can we start that rumor?
And then back out.
Can we start that rumor?
With LeBron James going to buy Twitter?
Yeah, from Elon Musk.
And he wants the bots.
Yeah, but he wants to make sure that the fraudulent accounts are actually still operating and fraudulent.
Yeah,
So,
they're just a bunch of LeBron James Stan accounts. That's all they are.
yeah, it's just Stan accounts. Oh man, good stuff. What else we got? Okay, let's. Kyrie and KD, that fiasco that's been going on for
melodrama
weeks.
that never dies.
So now it looks like KD and Kyrie will get to continue their bromance together in
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, dun dun dun. Womp womp. Brooklyn.
Yeah,
they're going to
not
stay
going
in
anywhere.
Brooklyn. They're not going to go anywhere. So that
Nobody
means
wanted it. Well, that's not true. People
Okay,
wanted them. but
people
they
wanted
weren't-
KD.
They weren't able to come to an agreement with what they were willing to part with to get.
See,
him.
Brooklyn actually found themselves in a pretty good situation there because they're like, you want KD? Okay, we want like 400 first round picks and a superstar. And people are like, well, all right, well, we'll give you 350 first round picks and like a regular size star. It doesn't have to be a super one. But I don't know, man. So they're going to end up staying there. So now with Brooklyn, you have Kyrie, who will, I'm certain he'll play at least 2 games this next season. Then you have KD, who will complain and send down bad texts to every team, but that's not really that big of a difference. And then you have Ben Simmons. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You forgot about that, didn't you? Ben Simmons is there too. Now, don't worry. He also won't play, but he'll wear like strange-looking clothes and sit behind the bench. Kyrie at least has the common decency to just not show up at all. Or he'll sit in the like stands. He's crazy anyway. But it's yeah. So I don't know. Brooklyn's a mess. The NBA.
There was all that speculation at one point about all those destinations for Kevin Durant
yeah.
because so many people wanted him, including our beloved Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
But there was no partner to be found because contracts you can't just give somebody because they want to go away. You have
Yeah.
to make sure the money lines up.
Right.
There are rules set in place for a reason. The problem is I guess in this case, these two players that tried to hold up a franchise and failed to do so have to go back to this franchise.
Oh, I know. And how miserable you think that's going to be. Like, it's like you literally tried
Who was it?
to hold up your franchise. You
Yeah.
tried to put them at
Yep.
gunpoint and like be like, get butt
And
naked
failed.
right now. Give
And
me your
failed.
money. Yeah.
I'm trying to think who was it that said recently. It was somebody who was a member of the Nets team, and they said last year it felt like it was Kyrie versus KD. They couldn't figure out where the team was going. They didn't know who was the leading
Yeah.
on what, and there was no team chemistry whatsoever. It wasn't present because it just felt like these two guys and everybody else.
Okay, so my opinion on this. This is what happens when you start giving management roles to your superstars. Okay? Look at what happened with Brooklyn, okay? Brooklyn, essentially, this team was built by Kevin Durant. It really was. Kevin Durant's the one who went and got James Harden. Kevin Durant's the one who went and got Kyrie. You know, he was the one who was trying to build this super team in Brooklyn. The same thing happened in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? You give LeBron control of who gets to come and go, and you end up with, Brick Westbrook and AD, who, is very ineffective, especially for his size and talent. KD, or not KD, AD, I feel like is underwhelming.
Interesting. Here's another article I just come across where Russell Westbrook is involved in the trade as a trade moving part.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that's how they get rid of Russ.
Yeah, we're just going to shift Russell Westbrook over here. It's like, it doesn't have anything to do with our team, guys.
Yeah, so it does look like Donovan Mitchell is going to be a Knick.
Well,
Is Donovan Mitchell enough?
No. I think that Donovan Mitchell is special, but he's not enough. Not for that. At least not in a one season turnaround. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, here's the rumor trade. It's Julius Randle for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
That's the trade.
I'm trading.
Make it both teams, honestly, because New York. What the hell at this point?
Yeah, right. And I guess
Russ
honestly,
would love to be in New York.
Yeah, he's like, this is great. I'm away from LeBron.
It's on the opposite coast, and he gets to
Yeah.
be the guy with Donovan Mitchell if they can get along.
If they can get along.
That's a point guard and a shooting guard, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we'll just call Russ a guard. How about that? I don't know if you can call him a shooting guard.
He's the point, right?
Yeah, he would be point guard, and Donovan
Which he's a
Mitchell's
great
shooting guard.
pass.
He really is.
Russ
I'm
a
going to
great
say,
pass.
for the record, for what Russ is supposed to be doing as a point guard, yes, he's
It's
good
just
at
his shot became ass.
it. Yeah, that was always the thing, is he was a point guard that had a really nice jumper, and now he's just a point guard who is a point guard. Yeah, so, that's kind of we're just going to crap on Russ, and then, let's wrap the show.
Peace out.
Yeah, so anyway, I guess that is what I'm going to do.
Crap on Russ and call it a day?
Yeah, crap on Russ, call it a day. So,
Follow us on the socials.
yeah, follow us on the socials. Download this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it be Spotify, Google, Apple, or any of them other things. Find us on YouTube where we live stream all this nonsense.
Yeah.
And you can watch it anytime you want to on demand or whatever. All right, so anyway, we love you guys. Keep on doing sports ball things. And from BT and from myself, we bid you good night.
Bye, guys.